Hey, what's up everybody? TJ BHC Lead P here. I'm a pastor in Wyoming and I make videos about the Bible, Bibles, and tools and resources that help you grow in your relationship with Christ. Today I have an awesome resource that was sent to me for review, but I have to be honest, I think it's pretty awesome. Now I will give my honest review, but I have to admit I think it is a pretty cool resource. So what we're going to go over today is the Old Testament Handbook from Holman Publishing. Let's jump into the video. The Old Testament Handbook is really awesome. So it's a cloth overboard cover, and we'll get into more of this in the tabletop, which, spoiler alert, there's a home office review coming soon. A home office tour to kind of show you what I have set up here. I just got a new desk, and I am extremely excited about it. You'll see the new desk in the tabletop. But anyways, back to the Old Testament Handbook. So it is a cloth overboard. It's a really solid construction, and it feels amazing. If you guys have seen those like sneakerhead books, if you go to Barnes & Noble or really any bookstore, you can see books based on topics, and they become like table setters. So they sit there, and they're almost like magazines, but fancier. This is the vibe that this puts off. But not only is it a cool tabletop resource, it is also an amazing resource for you to use in your everyday study. Let's jump over to the tabletop. All right, so this is the Old Testament Handbook from Holman, and honestly, this thing is incredible. So it is from Holman. I'll give you the spine. Kind of having to learn this new desk setup. And then, like I said, it's that cloth overboard. It's really, really pretty. Has a great feel, and it has this gold stamping in it, and it's stamped in there really, really nicely. Here's the invoice. You guys don't need to see that. It has an orange paste down liner that's a cardboard liner. On the back, on this little sleeve, here is your info. So it has a cloth overboard, right? We talked about that. It's Smythe sewn. It's got elegant, full color interior designs. It has maps, charts, illustrations, and other visuals to help for every book of the Old Testament. More than 75 in-depth word studies of key words found in each Old Testament book. A ribbon marker for easy referencing between pages during study, teaching, or sharing. Now, this does retail for, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll put something right here, if I am mistaken, for about $26. I might be a little low. So we're going to take that little slip cover off and then show you this side of it real quick. So there is, in spring of 2024, the New Testament Handbook will be coming out. And you better believe that I'm going to get my hands on this. Probably go with the stone cloth overboard because it makes sense and it will match. Anyways, so once we get into the interior, let's pull out this ribbon here for you. It's kind of a copper orange ribbon. It's wide. It's double-sided. Probably satin is what it feels like. But it matches the accents and the gray, so I like it. The Old Testament Handbook. And then here's your information page. It comes in a charcoal cloth overboard and a sand cloth overboard. Both are extremely beautiful. Both are very nice. Unless otherwise noted, all scripture quotations are taken from the Christian Standard Bible. So it's going to use it's Holman. It's going to use the CSB. Here's your contents. You got a letter from the publishers, the inspired word, and then all the books of the Bible. Then sources. Letter from the publisher, God's timely word, explains how it's all going, God's Spirit guiding the process. It explains the Torah or the law. These are the books of that. The prophets, the writings. These first 5 books are also known as the Pentateuch. And then you end up in your first book, which is Genesis. So it has Genesis, the genre, it's a historical narrative, and they all kind of have these themed cover pages. And we won't go over all of them because there's a lot of pages in here, but it says, there's a little subheading right here. This one says, as a book of beginnings, Genesis presents God's creation of the universe, humanity's fall into sin, and God's promise to bring blessings and restoration to his good but corrupt world through the family of Abraham. And so it explains who the author is, gives you a background, message and purpose, summary, the structure, gives you an outline of the book. It gives you the word studies that are going to be in here and tells you what they are. So seed, offspring, it's used 29 times in Genesis and 229 times in the Old Testament, and then gives you the focus passage, and it does that for all of your word studies. Genesis timeline, from the beginning to the Babylonians develop a catalog of stars and planets. So you're going from 2166 all the way to 1800 BC. And so creation, day by day, this gives you the days of creation. Early covenants, what they were, who they were to. Key players of that covenant, scripture, description of the promise, directives to Adam and Noah. And then there's just so much information. You got a migration map. You got child's birthright, a father's blessing, kind of the importance of that. You have the family line of Abraham. More paths to reconciliation, showing Jacob and Joseph, and so much more. Let's go into just a poetry book, just because we can. Well, actually, we'll just stop right here, because this one is beautiful. Judges, it has that log, the fire, like the log fire. The introduction has orange accents. Then you have your outline. Man, that's beautiful. Albeit I am a Beavers fan, but this black and orange goes really, really well together and fits the theme. And they're going to change that theme all throughout, and you're going to see that, again, all throughout this entire thing. It is constant. It is the same. It is awesome. So here we are in Ecclesiastes. Poetry and wisdom. Ecclesiastes is a wisdom literature reflecting on life and its apparent futility in the light of death, and its sand introduction, and then you're going to have that sand theme all the way through. When you get to the end of all the new, it even gives you book introduction sections, minor prophets. It's going to go over all the prophecies, the minor prophets, all that good stuff. But once you get to the end, so Messianic prophecies, which, hey, boom, here you go. If you're looking for them for like Christmas time, pastors, boom, side pierced for Easter, all that. Here's your text and your New Testament. So then you have your contemporaries and hearers, and then finishes out, and then you have your sources. These are where their sources came from, where they pulled their information, all that kind of stuff. And then you just hit the back, which matches. And that is the inside of the Old Testament Handbook. Now, I personally think that the Old Testament Handbook by Holman is an incredible resource. I think it's an incredible resource for a couple things. The first, and I think the most important, is study. I don't know about you, sometimes I will go over the Old Testament and I feel like I kind of get lost in timelines and in lineages and all that kind of stuff. This resource has a ton of good stuff, as well as those maps. Maps are super helpful, especially in situations like the Old Testament and the pilgrimages and stuff that they did, like Abraham moving his whole family. How did all that work? And so on and so forth. The Exodus, where did they go? This has maps for you to help you out with that. And it also is a cool resource just in the sense of if you're a pastor, have something around your office. If you're a chaplain or work in any type of ministry, have something on your desk. It's a cool thing. One, for you to pull and be like, man, good information. And two, just for people to look at. The other thing is it's just a cool in-home coffee table resource. Throw it on a reading table. People, I have some people in my inner circle that would come over, grab this, and be like, whoa, holy cow, I've never seen anything like this before. And I say that because I have not either. So the Old Testament Handbook by Holman, I think, is an amazing resource. The paper, I did not mention in the tabletop, but the paper is almost like a really nice magazine paper. It's literally like, if you've seen those sneakerhead books, it's literally like that. Or like a Ripley's Believe It or Not page. It's just like that. It's a beautiful resource. It's well built, and it's going to last you for a long time. So I encourage you to check it out. I'll leave a link in the description so that you can get this product. And thank you, Holman and B&H Publishing, for sending this to me for review. This is an amazing resource. Keep up the good work. As always, I want you to know that the most important thing that I have to tell you is Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. If you're on this video just because you hate Christianity, or better yet, you hate religion, I'm with you. And if you're curious why I can say that, let's talk about it. Now, if you put a hateful comment about that, you have your answer and you will be blocked from the channel. But if you're looking and going, man, I just don't know about this thing. Listen, the main thing that you have to understand is nothing about what you do. It's all about what Christ has done. And he has paved the way. He's our atoning sacrifice. And he is the one name by which man must be saved. It's all about Jesus. So I hope that you guys have a great day. Like, subscribe, share the video with a friend who you might think would be interested in this kind of resource. And I will see you in the next one.